You will be working on Multiplication Facts Graphic Organizer. These are your two objectives. I can represent multiplication facts using pictorial models, arrays, area models, repeated addition, and multiplication equations. I can write fact families for multiplication and division. Here's an example of what your finished slide will look like for each of the story problem, each of the multiplication facts. You will roll a die 2 times to come up with 2 different numbers that you're going to be multiplying, and you write the multiplication fact up at the first sentence or line 6 times 7. If you roll a 6 and a 7, then you're going to do 6 times 7. Leave it a blank equal sign. You can wait to do the fact family until you finish and solve the problem in the different ways. First, you're going to draw an array of the fact. So you have rows. You're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows because that is your first factor. So if you think about it, here's 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, 4 rows, 5 rows, 6 rows. Each row is going to have the second factor, 7. So you have row number 1 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. When you do it yourself, you can use different models that I'll show you in a minute what models you can use, or you can use different pictures or just little dots or little tallies. So this shows an array of 6 because we have 6 rows of equal number 7. If you're going to draw the area model, then we're counting the squares or the rectangles inside, and I'll show you how to do the area model. But this one also has 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, 4 rows, 5 rows, 6 rows, and each row has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. When you're trying to multiply to find the answer, you can count by 7, 7 plus 7, 14 plus 7, 21 plus 7, 28 plus 7, 35 plus 7, 42. Or you can count all of the little squares or rectangles, but that will be a long time. So let's try counting by a certain number. When you write with repeated addition, when you have a multiplication fact, you're saying that you're going to add the second factor this many times. So you're going to repeat 6 times the number 7. So here's number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6 times that you're repeating and adding the number 7. And eventually you have 42. Then you're going to draw the first factor is the number of groups. So you write 6 groups. The second factor tells you how many are inside of each group. So then 7. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups with 7 inside. Okay? So that is what your completed paper will look like. Let's go back to the fact family. Now that we know that 6 times 7 is 42, we write it as the first equation here. When you're writing a fact family for multiplication, the order of the factors can be changed. So the 6 can be last and the 7 can be first. You're always going to have the same product. They both have the same total. When we multiply, the total is called a product. When we divide, is sharing equally. So if we look at this picture, for example, I have a total of 42 little stars. When we divide, we start with the total. We're going to share equally the number 42. And then we can think, if I have 42 stars and I put them in 6 groups, like the picture here, how many am I going to put in each group? Well, that's 7. I can change the order around where I can start with 42 stars, and I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to put 7 in each group. How many groups do I have? So this equation, the question is, and this is called a quotient, the answer, but the question is, how many go inside each group? And the answer is 7 go inside each group. And in this equation, the question is, how many groups can I make? And the answer is, I can make 6 groups. And so now we have a completed fact family.